Now is the summary for Book 3, Chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6. After he's been tortured for many weeks, O'Brien tells Winston that he is going to go into the second stage of his three-stage process of reintegration, which is brainwashing. It would be learning, understanding, and then acceptance of the party. Because he thinks it's absolute power for absolute power's sake, the party will definitely succeed because it controls even the human mind. O'Brien likens that to a picture of a boot stamping on a human face forever. That's sort of his picture in his mind of what the party does to people. O'Brien then forces Winston to look in the mirror for a picture of humanity, and Winston sees himself as this old 60-year-old man. He looks gray. He's all skinny. His spine is all crooked. He actually looks like a boot stamped on his face, which is exactly what Brian just said. O'Brien then recognizes he still has one last thing. Winston has not yet betrayed Julia, so he wants him to do that. So now we get to Chapter 4. It's been weeks or maybe months of torture. Finally, it starts to slow down. Winston gets stronger. He eats more. Winston tries to make himself believe in the party slogans, kind of try to brainwash himself. But he still has a new goal. He wants to die, hating the party, in his mind. Winston finally faces O'Brien. He tells him he hates Big Brother, his one last moment of rebellion. And that's when O'Brien tells him, well, fine, the time has come for you to go to room 101. And he must not just obey, but he has to love Big Brother. So, Chapter 5, Winston says, the worst thing in the world is in room 101. And for Winston, that is rats. They show him a cage of large rats that are waiting to gnaw off his face. With the rats just inches away from his face, he starts screaming, do it to Julia. And O'Brien thinks, oh, that's good. He's satisfied. He has no more loyalties to anyone else. He only has loyalty to the party and to Big Brother. Chapter 6. Several months later, Winston sits at a cafe with other party members. He accepts everything the party says and does now. He's fully been brainwashed. He remembers time back in March 1985 when he had seen and spoken to Julia again, so he did actually see her again. She looked really awful. Her face looked bad. She'd been scarred by the torture. Winston really didn't feel anything for Julia. They both spoke about how they betrayed each other and how torture can change people. They agreed they would meet again, but neither of them actually intended to do that, and they don't meet again. Winston actually cries thinking about it. He wonders if it's a false memory that he has of his happy life with his family when he was younger. And he just looks at the telescreen and looks at the propaganda, which he now accepts because he's been so brainwashed. He even daydreams about his time at the Ministry of Love getting tortured, which is kind of crazy. And then Big Brother comes on the telescreen, and Winston feels joy and love for Big Brother because he has achieved a victory over the traitor he used to be. So he not only believes that he's now been brainwashed completely, but he believes he was a traitor before, which is what they wanted. And that is the end of the book. I know, it's so sad.